Ladies and gents, welcome to Najar. I come to you live from beneath the cascading leaves of this glorious walnut tree, this diofa. And here behind me, you can see the A-frame, the Kavich cabin, which has been our sanctuary, our home, our abode for the past 2 nights, with one more to go. And today we have a ton of exploration on the books. We're heading out into the Bergön Mountains before we curl around and come back to the Dunakanyar, the Danube Bend, Najar. At one point, it was the glorious hunting grounds of high Renaissance kings such as Najar, Louis the Great, Zsigmondy Luxembourg, and Caro Roberto. Not to mention King Matyas himself. So today we shall explore and gallivant and perhaps recreate some of the vibes from the medieval era. Check out this old communist era bus. Wow, Najar. And here we have the Libak. Hát nem ludas machi vagyok. Probota. So we are now deep within the Bergön Mountains, on the border of Pest megye and Novigrad megye, right up in the north of Hungary. And look at this glorious little stream, this patak. They call it the Seine Patak, the carbon stream. We have a cute little bridge here, so far removed from the majority of civilization, snaking up through the Királyréti, the King's Field. So you can see here on this map some of the limitless adventure that exists in this Bergön region. Up there, Holoku, Ravenstone. We're all the way down in the Királyréti, the King's Field. And a lot of these places are off limit to cars, but you can bike, you can hike, and you can explore to your heart's content. Well, we're not taking advantage of it today, but if you so wish, you have this wonderful little cute train that can scooch and scoot you through the many multifaceted veins of the Bergön. This is the Királyréti Terminus, and we're going by foot. But what a cute little train. Look at it. Perfect for the whole family. And here's another option. The High Tan Boyo, that way. It's a push train. Now these trains nowadays are more of a novelty activity, but you can see they recreate that turn of the century atmosphere, the Sarsfordelo, when the 19th century turned to the 20th. And for the first time, the mass of the population had new opportunities for leisure and activities and exploration. Why? What a sumptuous atmosphere. And now we are gonna head out up to the Kilato to see a view over the former domains of Royal Hungary. You can see that this forest has a lot of younger growth, perhaps only in the past 30 to 40 years. Many of these saplings have sprouted out, but still a great deal of forest cover. A very refreshing and enchanting atmosphere for the hiker and the traveler. So this here Várhegy Kilato, the Castle Hill Lookout, a location which was shrouded in mystery until the 20th century when archaeologists started to dig up. And what did they find? Well, we've been mentioning today a lot of Renaissance figures such as Luxembourg Zsigmond, Najar, Caro Roberto, Hungary Matyas, even Albert Habsburg. But this was before them. They found things from the latter half of the Arpad era. We're talking like 13th century, 12th century, 11th century, but also stretching back to the Bronze Age. The Bronze Age, a bronze core. And that means that there was earthworks here, strategic earthworks for settlements that stretch all the way into the mists of ancient man, 1400 to 900 BC. Here we can see some of the iconic peaks of the Bergön, the Magas Tax, the Nagy-Hideg-hegy, Hangyas-Berc, and Csoványos, right over there. Csoványos, that's the highest peak, ringing in at 938 meters, which for some alpine countries might not be too much to talk about, but in Hungary, it is quite a big hill. And then over in this direction, we have more mountains out into the distance, still the Bergön, and there we can see Slovakia on the border, right up in the north of Hungary, the surrounding Novigrad Megyē, not an but a Novigrad Megyē, and mountains ringing all the way around. Ah, yes, up in the heavens. And now we head back down below. Well, we've rolled down out of the Bergön Mountains into Marea Nostra. We're on the way towards the Duna, towards Sob, and then finally Zagan, and we'll see what happens after that. But we've stopped here at a quite interesting site. This church right here, this church was a former monastery. It's still a church, but it also used to have a monastery, an apátság, which was originally dedicated by this man right here. We've talked about him a lot today, Nagy Lajos, the Hungarian king who ruled over the greatest dominion of any king before. Now here we can see 1352 to 1858. Why does it say 1352 to 1858? Well, 1352, that was in the midst of Nagy Lajos's reign. And 1858 was when this apátság, when this monastery was converted by the suppressing Habsburg forces into a female penitentiary. Female only at the start, and now today it continues to be a prison. We can look right over there and we can see the barbed wire. So this is a functioning Bertund, a functioning penitentiary. Let's see if we can get a look at any prisoners. Perhaps not. Nope, no one doing yard work at the moment. Wow, a peculiar juxtaposition. This old medieval era Baroque church, and then down here, are these the crypts? Are the crypts really open to us? Ooh, 1735. Well, an interesting little pit stop, Illuminati. And now we head to Zagan. All right, so what do we got here? We have three different types of rétes, that classic Hungarian, Austrian dessert. We have the kaposztás, that's the savory. We have the barackos turos, that's peach with cottage cheese. And we have almas fahéjas. Szép napot, viszlát, viszlát. Egészségedre. So which one is the best? We're about to find out. Here goes the almas fahéjas. Let's go right there. The barack turos. And last but not least, a legutolsó, de nem a legkevesebb, the kaposztás. Ooh, the kaposztás. You gotta try some of this. And we wash it down with the viceházmester here at the Mókus Söröző in Zagan. Altogether, 8.9. Zagan. It is quite a unnecessary. Rich history. Since the 13th century, Hungarians have settled here. The Benedictine monks, they were the first ones to really lay down roots all along this Malom Potok, the mill stream. There's a Benedictine monk right now. Not quite. Anyway, we can see the beautiful church, the downtown, the cobblestone streets. There's a Duna part right on the Duna Kanyar, the Danube Bend. There's a reason why tourists flock to this place. Beautiful, plentiful, bountiful hiking trails, and an atmosphere which must be seen to be believed. Zagan. And Zagan, as we mentioned before, had a rich medieval history, but it was depopulated during the years of the Turkish wars, only to be resettled by Danube Swabians, the Germans. And according to popular legend, the name Zagan came from the German See, S-E-E, beginnt, where the sea begins, the Danube Bend. The Germans, they thought it was the start of a great lake, and so they said, See, beginnt, Zagan. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. Here's my ride. So we've made it to our next destination on the trip. I'm here with my friends, the Kecskek. Sziasztok, Kecskek. Hogy vagytok? We're here in Novigrad. Novigrad, which is the name of the Medje, the county, Novigrad Medje, but it's also the name of this town. And perhaps more importantly, it's the name of the castle whose ruined remains we are about to go scabbing. Here we can see what the castle once looked like back in its glory days. That must have been around the 17th century, perhaps. Oh, wow. All right, so officially this place is closed. I don't want you guys to get any ideas, but that's never stopped us before, has it? Oh my goodness gracious. Well, we've come here at the peak of the day in terms of heat, in terms of temperature. We're rocking about 34 degrees Celsius, but that's not gonna stop us, is it? No, no, no. Now, this castle has a very long and storied history. They say originally it was built by the Slavs who settled this region before the Honfoglalás in 896. But of course the Magyar, they did take over. And from this vantage point, you can see why they would situate the fortress here. Great strategic viewpoints. We're at the foot of the Börzsön and the whole Északi Közép-hegyság, the northern central mountains. Of course, this would allow for centuries to see out for miles into the distance. Yes, and there is the eponymous village of Novigrad. Now, Novigrad itself, which, as we mentioned, is the name of the county as well, it comes quite reasonably from the Slavic word Novigrad, new castle. Now, this new castle, this Novigrad, is a very old castle indeed, and the history is quite unclear, but we do know that Anonymous, who was the court scribe for Harmadik Bela, he named Novigrad Vár in his famous tales of the Hungarians, the Gesta Hungarorum. And therefore, we can say that this is certainly one of the most ancient and interesting historical locations in the entire country. Perhaps at sunset, at sunrise, or in the snow. It might be all the more romantic and charming. But today, we've had quite the opportunity to revel within the history-wrapped atmosphere of Novigrad Vár and Novigrad Medje. Oh, this parlag foo, ragweed. Let me tell you, it's a killer. These asthmatic lungs, they're withering, absolutely withering. All right, well, we've had quite a few adventures today, and I do not think we are done yet. So, let's bid Novigrad Vár adieu and continue our way downtown. Well, we end today's adventure here in Najar, the town of our accommodation, and just across the Danube from Visegrad. The Visegrad castle in the distance, that old ancestral home of Hungarian kings in the medieval years. Oh yes, what an adventure this has been. Here we can see behind me the Danube Bend, the Najar, out in every direction, the Hungarians playing and frolicking in the sun. Oh, how scenic, how tremendous, how absolutely positively Magyar. Well folks, that's all for now from Najar, Egészségedre, and I'll see you soon. Well folks, I hope that you enjoyed that adventure through one of the best and most beautiful locations in all of Hungary, the Börzsön Mountains, the Najar, Najar. And real quickly here, I just want to walk you through our outstanding accommodation, the Kavics cabin, an A-frame with modern amenities, beautiful setting for a romantic getaway, a solo retreat, or perhaps, who knows what else. We have this awesome little deck, this patio, 2 bicycles, ready for you and yours to explore the surrounding region. Well situated here, a bathtub, very ergonomic and relaxing, right beside the bed. Upstairs, well, we won't get into that too much, but a lovely little enclave, couch, bathroom, shower, in case you don't want to take a bath. I don't know why you wouldn't, but sometimes the combination is good. Kitchen, Nespresso, Starbucks, Americai. And yeah, all in all, just a wonderful place to relax. We had an emergency situation on our hands. I mean, it wasn't really that much of an emergency because we knew about it for a while, but last minute asked if we could have shelter and abode for a few nights while our house was being painted. And Heidi, the owner, was kind enough to oblige. So yeah, if you're in the mood for a little R&R in the gorgeous, gorgeous surroundings of the Najar and the Börzsön, look no further than the Kavics cabin here in lovely, enchanting Najar.